Why are traditional wives getting dumped by their husbands later in life? Why are the traditional wife husbands divorcing them and getting a second wife after many years of marriage? Who are traditional wives, also known as Tradwives? Traditional wives are married women who practices and believe in gender role in their marriage. They believe women should be completely submissive to their husbands, and they use as a woman starts and ends in building a home. They are stay-at-home women who don't believe in going out there to work or even work from home. They focus on building a home while their husband go out there to work and make all the money. They embrace the 1950 housewife ideas. Red pill movement should have a hand in this. What do you think? Let's find out. Who coined and started this movement? This movement was started 6 years ago on social media by a thread on an anti-feminist subreddit on Reddit known as the Red Pill. I said it. Here they are. It garnered so much attention and is spread across to the mainstream social media platforms such as Instagram and TikTok. Let's have a quick look at the popular Tradwives influencers on social media, both on TikTok and Instagram. Here is what their pages look like. They are all anti-feminist, they are against the feminism movement, and they call themselves anti-woke. What are netizens on social media saying about this? Let's move over to TikTok and watch a couple of videos and hear what people think about this Tradwives movement.
I'm a very traditional girl. I believe that once I walk down the aisle, I should be instantly transferred from my father's phone bill to my husband's.
It's so funny because whenever I share my views on submission and being a submissive wife, people always come for me and they think that I'm allowing my man to control me and that I'm oppressed, but I chose this. I chose to be submissive because I know the Lord instructed me as a wife to be submissive to my husband and to allow him to lead. Yes, obviously it came with challenges. I'm not going to say that, oh, right off the bat it was so easy and came natural, because let's be real, in the Bible it literally says that Eve had the desire, or women will have the desire to overtake their husband. So it's naturally in us to try to do that because of sin. But my thing is, it's like reading the word and understanding God's role and desire and that he has for me as a wife. I've learned to start submitting on big decisions and trusting my husband's judgment on certain things and not always wanting to be the one to try to call the shots, but talking about it, discussing things, but allowing him to make those final decisions. And honestly, I actually really enjoy it. And I have no issue serving him. And the thing is, people say, oh, you serve him. Are you a maid? Are you a slave? No, but serving is a part of marriage. You're supposed to serve one another. You are called to serve one another. And I just like doing those things. And the thing is, I don't feel oppressed any way, shape, or form. I actually feel more empowered, I would say, doing these things because I feel like I'm fulfilling and living out what God has called me to do. And I actually find so much joy and feel so much more purposeful doing that.
There's a recent trend of videos circulating on here about Tradwives and, you know, how you don't see women in their 40s and 50s glamorizing that life. And because it sucks. I was a Tradwife and I never expected that I would be one. I kind of ended up somewhat against my will. Around my 1-year anniversary, I was told, your job is stressing you out too much. You are taking it out on me. It's sabotaging the marriage and you have to make a choice. I remember where I was sitting, what I was eating when that conversation went down, and the sinking feeling I had. And I didn't want to give up my very successful, high-earning career. But I thought, what kind of person would I be if I chose a job over family? So I chose family. And 10 years later, I realized that it completely destroyed my life. Always keep a job. Always have some sort of way to have an income stream. Get paid for what you're doing. Make sure there are protections. Make sure things get titled in your name. Don't believe the future faking. Don't get your foot out of your career. Take care of yourself. Yeah, it might be nice and fun to take care of your husband, and you can still do that, but always take care of yourself, because the tides turn real fucking fast, especially when they're holding all the cards and they want you to do things a certain way, and after years and years of doing it a certain way, you decide to stand up for yourself, they fall out of love with you real fucking fast. So take care of yourself, always.
Let's have a quick read at this post from Reddit. A traditional wife to single mother with no prospect pipeline goes crazy. I don't know how people keep falling for this shit when it always ends the same way. I mean, these trad guys never shut the F up about how they deserve a barely legal wife. You think they are going to get one and grow old with her? No. These fools get married young, then the second their wife gets old, 35 plus, and boring, they replace them. If you marry a traditional conservative man and you are both young, chances are you aren't his wife for life. You're his wife until wrinkles do you part. Let's go back to the main question. Why are traditional wives getting divorced by their husbands later in life? The breakdown of marriage at any point in life is heartbreaking and devastating. Whether you were the one that decided to leave or you were left blindsided by your partner's decision, the pain and confusion from the fallout can feel unbearable. Perhaps one of the most palpable questions that can drive you crazy is why? Why does a man, after 30 years of marriage, leaves his wife? Whilst most divorces happen earlier, like 4 years after marriage, divorcing later in life is becoming increasingly common. In fact, a study carried out in 2017 by Pew Research Center shows that for divorce over 50 has doubled since 1990. Here are some reasons why men divorce their wives after 20-30 years of marriage. Midlife crisis. More than half of the adults over 50 years and above claim to have gone through midlife crisis. Evidence shows that some people are reporting constant decline in life satisfaction after they hit a mid-age of about 45 to 55 years. What do we even mean by midlife crisis? The term midlife crisis was coined by a psychoanalyst, Elliot Jacques, who saw this period as one where one reflects on and struggles with our own mortality. A midlife crisis tend to create conflict between how someone perceives themselves and their lives and how they wish life were. It is often characterized by a desire to change your identity. As a consequence, a man who is going through midlife crisis may feel unfulfilled, feel nostalgic about the past, feel jealous of people he thinks have better life, feel bored or as though his life is meaningless, be more impulsive or rash in making decisions, be more dramatic in his behavior or appearance, be drawn to having an affair. Of course, happiness is ultimately internal. As a Holocaust survivor, Viktor Frankl stated, "The last of a human freedom is to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. But a midlife crisis can lead us to believing that happiness is an external event, yet to be discovered and lives outside ourselves. That's why many older men may experience midlife crisis that may cause them to leave their marriages even after being married for over 30 years and more." The second reason why men leave their marriages after being married for so many years is sexless marriage. Difference in libido can create challenges at any stage of a marriage, with many couples experiencing mixed-matched sex drives. Although it's not unusual for sex within marriage to change over years, people still have sexual needs at all ages. Sexual desire can also change at different rates between men and women. Studies have more widely reported that the decline in sexual interest is more common as a woman age compared to men. Some of these may be as a result of a decline in the estrogen level, reducing the libido. Other reasons why men leave their marriages after being married for so many years includes falling out of love, feeling unappreciated, growing apart, lack of emotional connection, having an affair or meeting someone new, probably the kids just left home, imagining that the grass is greener at the other side, wanting freedom, maybe retirement. It could be due to retirement. You just want something new, something totally different environment, wanting freedom because they feel like they've been caged for a long time, or I just have to feel free and do what I've always wanted to do. It could also be they are craving for having a longer lifespan. It could be the woman is giving him chaos or he's not happy. So at this point, I can't take it anymore. I just want to live longer. I have to leave. The question here is this: what happens to those traditional women when they get divorced by their husband? Remember, those women don't have their own work, they don't have their own money, so how then will they cope? Let's move over to TikTok and listen to this woman as she cries and shares her story of how she was a traditional wife for so many years. She got married when she was 17, and later on in life the husband divorced her and moved on with a new lady. She was devastated because she didn't have her own financial stability. Let's hear what she has to say.
I want to start this video by saying that I'm not asking for money and I'm not asking for sympathy. What I'm asking for is if you are a young 14, 16, 21-year-old girl, listen up. I drove to the grocery store. I need to grab some milk and bread and a couple things, flipped open the bank app on my phone, and I've been sitting in my car crying ever since because I never have enough money. And why do I never have enough money? Because when I was a 19-year-old girl, I fell in love. My Mormon faith told me that I was supposed to be a stay-at-home mom. I got married. I started having babies. I dropped out of college. I never had a career. My only jobs that I ever had in life were a waitress at the Olive Garden and managing a pretzel maker in a mall. Oh, my first couple years of marriage, I decided that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, so I bought a windshield business. I was 20. And my Mormon stake president reminded me that women weren't supposed to work, so I quit my own business, handed it over to my husband, took my name off of it. I would work our family business throughout the next 24 years of my marriage, but I never got paid. I didn't have a salary. My name wasn't on it. I literally worked for room and board. That's it. I would eventually also launch a custom home building company with my uncle as the architect and my friends as the builder, my designs, my realtor. But again, because my husband was the man, his name was on all of the projects, his name was on the business. I remember one of the last custom homes that I built, we sold it and made about a $260,000 profit. That money all went into his bank account. I didn't even have a bank account. I should have said that in the beginning. I never had a bank account. He would give me little envelopes of cash to go grocery shopping with. Anyway, that house sells, the money goes in the bank. I just asked if I could buy myself a piano with the money. I had worked on building that house for 2 years. All of the money went into his bank account. Nothing was under my name. I got a piano and I got a free house to live in. And I got groceries. So I found myself divorced at age 44 just 5 years ago, and within just a few months I was living in my car while he made about $250,000. He would eventually quit that job so that he wouldn't have to pay alimony and child support. He has only paid alimony one time ever in the 5 years since we've been divorced. Once ever. Right after my divorce, I remember being really confident about my ability to get a job, so I put together a resume. I remember one of the first interviews that I had was a management position for a windshield company, similar to the one that we had run. And the man actually laughing as he was interviewing me, like he was really sympathetic. He wasn't being a douchebag, but he was laughing. And he's like, so let me get this straight. You helped manage your family windshield business with your husband, but you were mostly a stay-at-home mom, and all you did was like the marketing and the hiring, firing, and some of the strategy for the business. But it became really apparent that I needed so many more skills to have any type of management job. I couldn't even work the basic computers. He told me in the interview, please don't apply for any more jobs like this. You are not qualified at all. You're not capable of doing this unless you go back to school and get your degree or get some different experience. And so I ended up, my first job after my divorce was $11 an hour, 4 hours a day, working as an assistant to a school teacher in an elementary school. I made $44 a day. For 24 years, I lived in $1 million homes. I vacationed all over the world. I spent my summers in Hawaii. I could buy myself $500 jeans, diamond tennis bracelets. We had boats and RVs and whatever I wanted. And it never bothered me once that my financial security was dependent on that man being in love with me. I never realized that him liking me or not liking me or finding me sexy or attractive or interesting determined whether or not my children could eat, whether or not I could buy myself a fucking jug of milk and a loaf of bread. So I had my 5th surgery in 2 years, 2 weeks ago, and I'm supposed to be in bed resting, and I can't because I worked 7 days a week since my divorce 5 years ago, which is why I'm covered in paint and looking like crap. We actually have a 4-day weekend here in Tucson, and since my partner isn't working, he's working on furniture flip partner projects with me. I have no retirement. I have no savings, no education, no resume. I was almost a straight A student throughout all of my education. I went to college at age 17. I had dreams for my future. I'm working so hard to get myself out of just perpetual side hustle hell. There's not a day that goes by that I don't wonder why I didn't have a fucking backup plan. Why my kids eating and having stability was dependent on a romantic relationship. Why nobody told me to put money in the bank? Why nobody told me don't have babies until you have an education and some experience? Don't have so many kids. I wish somebody had told me to put my name on our vehicle loans and to put my name on our houses. I wish somebody had told me that it's okay to put those babies in daycare for a couple days a week and go to college and have a job. And I think I need to do an entire Tradwives sequel, because you can be happy and rich and loving your life like Ballerina Farm until the guy walks out. I want you guys to imagine for a minute, even rich Hannah. If Deanna walked out, if all of his financial backing and he had to sell the farm, and then what does she have? Find another rich boy to marry? I just don't want one more woman to DM me, comment, send me their stories, cry to me about how hard it is for them to support their families, and I am so tired of living my own story. We have to make this stop. Raise your daughters to be financially independent. Focus on their futures and educations just as much as you focus on your sons. I wish that someone had done that for me. My kids eating and having stability was dependent on a romantic relationship.
Please go watch her video. I think every woman should watch that video. And my heart absolutely breaks for her, but it's so important. I'm so glad she's sharing her story, because we've seen such a concerning uptick in tradwife content that kind of encourages women to not have their own financial freedom and depend on other people for their financial security. And statistically, one of the reasons people stay in domestic violence situations or unsafe environments is because they don't have the means to leave and they're financially trapped. And your financial freedom, your ability to support yourself should never hinge on anybody else than yourself. And so that's why my stance with this type of content is not only is it maybe a little bit less, feminist, but it's incredibly dangerous. Tradwife content is dangerous, and I'm going to be really firm on this. And yeah, it might seem extreme, but I believe it's dangerous to encourage women not to have their own financial stability. Your ability to support yourself and your children should never hinge on the status of your relationship with a man, just based off of the divorce rates alone, whether there is DV or not. And if you can't work full-time, putting something on the side, putting some money away, signing a prenup, anything to secure yourself and make sure that this person doesn't completely ruin you if he decides to walk away. Worse yet, if you need to escape. And lastly, I want to note that women have always worked. The only type of woman that didn't work ever are very wealthy, rich, white women. So let's debunk this, because that's never really been a thing.
So guys, that's all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and if you're interested in watching more videos on traditional wife and what they're all about, I have a video already linked up for you guys in the card up. Please check it out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and bye.